Hello, and thank you for tuning into this week's Mayor's Update. As always, we have a lot of important information to share with you here this week, so please feel free to share this video with your friends, family, relatives, and anyone else who you think might find this information helpful over the course of the coming week. I want to say a very special thank you to everyone who organized and participated in our 8th annual Overdose Awareness Night Vigil that we had here in Gardner. For the past 8 years, this is something that has really been a large showing here in our community, and I think that's great to show that, if someone's struggling or going through a hard time with the disease of addiction, that this community really does and is standing behind those individuals who are going through those struggles and dealing with those demons in their lives. This is something that several people deal with, either themselves directly or with people that they know who have gone through issues of substance abuse and overdose and everything like that. So I want to thank the AED Foundation, Alyssa's Place Peer Recovery Center, Gamma, the Gardner Community Action Team, the Kevin Fletcher Family Foundation, and everyone else who really puts this event on every year to make sure that people in the community know of the resources that are available to them. This year we also changed things up a little bit and used that as the kickoff to Recovery Month. And that's something that's a national movement that we could say that really helps to show people who are struggling with addiction, highlighting those that are in the recovery process and showing if they can do it, so can you. So there'll be several different events put on by our prevention coordinator, Veronica Patty, over the course of the next month, concluding in a special presentation on September 23rd that we'll have more information about as it gets closer in these updates as we move forward. So please keep an eye out for all of that information as well. And again, thank you to everyone who made this past week's event possible. I want to say a very warm welcome back to school to our students at Gardner Middle School, Gardner High School, and Gardner Academy, who will be starting their school year off this Tuesday, September 6th. Now, I do want to talk a little bit about how this school year went. Obviously, we know that there was a delay for the start of school as a result of the construction delays at the new elementary school. This actually doesn't change the school calendar too much. Some of you may know that throughout the year we've periodically had professional development days come up in which teachers can sit and go through these different professional development classes. Rather than have all those professional development days spread out over the course of the year, we had all those days front loaded. So this past week was our professional development week, if you will. So rather than have those days off throughout the year on a random Tuesday or a random Monday as things are going, all of those took place this year. So it doesn't affect the school calendar that much, as those days would have been off anyway. However, what it did do is allow our Gardner Elementary School teachers to get into their classrooms and start setting things up. Now, next week, the elementary school teachers have the option of continuing to set up their classrooms or just take a week off as a vacation week while the other students begin in their new school, so that construction can finally finalize. Those that do need to set up their classrooms have some time to just step back and set the stuff up that they need to, so that by September 12th comes along, we'll be able to get the students into a school that's ready for them to start learning. Now, there is some grounds work that will probably still need to be done on the outside, but the inside of the building will be complete and ready for students to start learning by the time that they enter the building on September 12th. So I want to say thank you to all of our construction workers there. There's over 150 workers who are there nonstop, making sure that things are getting done by the start of school. And now that we have the teachers really, setting up the classrooms, while I was walking the building this past week, it really does have that feel to it when you start seeing the books getting put out and the desks all out and things like that. So thank you to everyone who's making that possible. And thank you to our teachers as well for the extra effort you're doing this year. It's not going unnoticed, but I'm really excited for us to be able to open that new school to our students too. And we'll see if there's some times that we can start scheduling for the public to start taking a look around in it as well after our school hours. I want to give everyone a heads up that there are, two somewhat big votes coming up before the City Council at their meeting next Wednesday. We want to remind people that the City Council is meeting on Wednesday due to the Monday Labor Day holiday and the Tuesday Election Day. And that's my request to sell School Street School and Prospect Street School. With the new ordinances and projects and programs that we put in place to really hold absentee landlords to a high standard, we want to make sure that the city isn't falling into that trap as well and really leaving our own buildings to deteriorate. So School Street School has been vacant for several years. We have several issues where the police department is there at least 2 to 4 times a week with people who have broken into the building. The building department then has to go out and buy plywood to board up the windows. They do that, the boards get kicked in, the new windows get broken. It's become a constant money pit for us just in time and energy and resources that we're using to secure the building, because every time we do notice that a window has been kicked in, we have to send at least 8 police officers to go secure the building, and it really does tie up our officers' time that way as well. We did a full appraisal on School Street School, and the appraisal actually came back at $0 due to the interior condition of the building and the underground oil storage tank that is located in front of the school underneath the parking lot that's there too. So those factors combined led to that zero there. So it is being put up for the minimum price of $1 if the city council approves it. Now I say the minimum price because how we are required to sell any properties that the city owns in the city, if you're unaware of that, is we have to put it out for what's called a request for proposals. That means that anyone who's interested in actually purchasing the property has to submit, different proposals that are out there as to what they want to do with the building, how much they're willing to pay for the building, what their anticipated use is, and things of that nature. All of that goes into effect in the decision making there. It's not just bottom line price, it's actual highest and best use of the property that goes into that. That's exactly what we've done with all the other properties that we've sold recently in the city, is in our efforts to try to get properties back on the tax rolls and out of the city's hands. So it does tend to go higher than what that minimum value set by the council is, the minimum price that we can put out. For example, there was a property on Chelsea Street that the city recently put out for $48,000. We got just under $100,000 for that property there too. So again, it's the highest and best use of the property, and then the prices that we get with it too. So those are all taken into effect there too. It's just trying to make it easier for developers to come in and look at the property. Now, Prospect Street School is a little different. The appraisal on that came back at $295,000. So $295,000 higher than the School Street School appraisal, because the building really is in good condition. It does have good bones. We are gonna, my request to the city council is for us to put it up for a minimum price of $100,000. The reason being, for less than the appraised value, is one, we want to get someone in it. Two, there is a high cost of converting a school into something non-school related to meet the needs of what the new person who's using the building is there. It also needs a new boiler, and there's some broken pipes in the building too. So there's some maintenance work that needs to be done in that as well. So that's why we go a little lower than the appraised value there, but still at enough that the city can still recoup some funding on it as well. So we'll see how those go next week, but if you see any information on that and you're confused about how the process of the city selling those buildings are, how the prices are set, with the procedures that we've done going up to here, because we actually started this process last November, going through the appraisals, the title work, and things like that, you can always feel free to contact my office at any time, and we're happy to answer all of those questions for you there as well. There's a couple of exciting events happening soon at the Timpani Crossroads Plaza. Verizon Wireless Zone is having their ribbon cutting, and they're taking one of the empty storefronts over there in Timpani Crossroads. That'll take place on September 7th at 5 p.m. That'll go in next to Clearview Dermatology that opened recently. And then on September 21st at 5 p.m., Edward Jones will also be having their grand opening and ribbon cutting. And they're located in between Starbucks and Clearview Dermatology. So if you see a bunch of people out that way, that's the events that are happening there. But please do go and support our new businesses in that area as well. It's nice to see that plaza really taking off and getting new life breathed into it there. And thank you very much to Amy Fantoni and Emily Liberty for really spearheading the Timpani Crossroads project and getting those new businesses into that section of the city. While we're on the topic of events, just a reminder that the Montezuma Veterans Outreach Center on September 15th at 5:30 p.m. is having their summer, speaker series at Monument Park. More information on that can be found through the Montezuma Veterans Outreach Center. And then the Fall Festival and Oktoberfest will take place on Saturday, September 24th, with the Fall Festival starting at 10 a.m. and the Oktoberfest starting at 2 p.m. There's a lot going on. The Oktoberfest starting at 11 a.m. and the chair luge starting at 2 p.m. So there's a lot going on in the month of September. We're really building up for it. It's hard to believe September 1st is actually here already, but it's going to be quite the exciting time for us here in Gardner. However, that concludes this week's update. As always, if you have any questions on any of the stuff that was said, or anything that wasn't said that you heard on the streets and you really have a question about and want more information about, you can always feel free to contact my office at any time. Thank you very much. Good luck to our students who are moving into college this week. Good luck to our students in Gardner Public Schools that are starting this week, and I look forward to speaking with you again next week. Thank you very much, and have a great day.